I had this dream in the middle of the night last night at 3 a.m. And when I woke up, I was like covered head to toe, just drenched in sweat because of this dream. So in the dream, I told my sister, I said, God told me that an earthquake is coming. And as soon as I said that, an earthquake happened. And I was like, see, I told you that God said it was going to happen. And in the after the earthquake happened, everybody was like, there was a scare going on. People were afraid of, there was something about a methane gas leak. Okay, so I don't know a lot about earthquakes. I don't know anything about methane gas. So for me to dream something like that just didn't come from me or my thoughts or anything. I just never think about or hear anything about that stuff, so I don't know where that came from. And then as I was like coming out of the dream, the number 3.0 was like swirling around in my mind. So when I woke up from the dream, I was like, okay, number one, I've never even thought about like if gases are released during an earthquake. I have no idea. I've just never thought about that. I've never heard that before. So I went to Google to see if that happens, and I couldn't find a lot of information on that. But from what I could find, apparently either it is or they believe it is, but I just couldn't find a lot of answers on that for some reason. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. And then I was like, okay, 3.0 in relation to an earthquake dream obviously sounds like a Richter scale reading. And I was like, okay, well, a 3.0 typically isn't, something serious as far as like damage level. So, it's not to say it's nothing, but it's just generally not a big earthquake. Nothing really to be too alarmed about, because we hear about 3.0s all the time, and they're usually just not like, nothing worth being like warned about. But then like the earthquake that happened in the dream to me was like a very serious earthquake, and it would have been way bigger than a 3.0. But I was thinking, if there was something that happened like a methane gas leak after an earthquake, it doesn't really matter like physically what the damage was as far as like buildings and wreckage and stuff, just being a 3.0, quote unquote only a 3.0, because if there's something that's like a health threat, an environmental threat like methane gas, which is poison to humans, of course that's going to be more dangerous than it sounds if it's just a 3.0. So I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't even know if methane gas is released after earthquakes or if it's possible. I have no idea. I don't live in a place that has earthquakes, so I just don't have knowledge about those things. And I literally never think about methane gas. I don't even know if I've ever like used that word in my life. I don't even exactly know what it is, except for just what I did on that Google search. So you guys know, if you've been listening to me for some time, God shows me a lot of dreams about earthquakes happening like right before a big event happens. I will like dream like I'll have like this big cluster of earthquake dreams like over and over and over until the said event happens, and then they just stop and go away until like right up before another major event happens. I had told you guys that it was like a month or two before COVID started. I was dreaming all the time of like major earthquakes, like serious earthquakes, all the time. And then COVID started and I didn't have them anymore. So I was like, okay, symbolically an earthquake is just something that shakes up the world. It's a shaking. So I realized that, at least with me, earthquake dreams are God showing me that something's about to shake us up. Something big is about to go down in the world. And then I didn't have them again until, I believe, right before, I want to say like 3 or 4 weeks before all the voter fraud stuff started. I was dreaming again all the time about a big earthquake. So I just knew at that point, I was like, something is about to happen, because it's just what God does with me. And then all of that stuff happened, and the earthquake dreams went away until like now. Today is January 14th, and I'm starting to dream about earthquakes again, but this one is different because it has that natural environmental element to it, as far as the methane gas leak scare that was going on. I've never dreamt that before, I don't believe, where there's an earthquake where something in the environment happens to where the dream would kind of tip me off that God's not just speaking in symbolism, that it's, a possibility that he is talking about a real actual earthquake happening somewhere where there actually is this concern for this gas leak. So that's new for me, especially with it being something that I don't know about or even think or hear about. So I can see how it could be an actual literal earthquake that this could be warning of, but at the same time, it's possible I could also see symbolism in it. So, obviously on the physical side of it, there could be an earthquake coming up where there is a methane gas leak and it's poisonous to humans and it could kill people. So I was like, okay, I could see that happening, and I don't know, maybe they would blame those deaths on something else. You know what? I'll just leave it at that. So there's that side of it, and the 3.0 could just be like, the measurement on the Richter scale of that earthquake, not a ton of physical damage to buildings and structures, but yet, a threat to actual human life, which is even more destructive. So I could see that. But on the flip side, if it is a dream of symbolism, methane gas is, a poison. It's an environmental threat in the air to humans, if you can see where I'm going with this. So that could be symbolism of, the virus or the vaccine or whatever. And then as far as the 3.0, like I said, obviously in an earthquake dream, that's an earthquake Richter scale reading, but maybe it could be referring to something else that just doesn't make sense yet. And I've learned to not obsess about details like that I don't understand right away. I don't try to super figure them out all the time anymore. And I've learned to just let it go, because sometimes these things, you could rack your brain all day long trying to figure it out, but it's just something that you're not going to have the understanding of until it happens. And then you look back and say, oh, well, now it makes sense. And there's no way I could have known what that was meaning until I was physically seeing it happening around me. So maybe the 3 is tied to something else. And then it also occurred to me that I woke up from this dream at 3 a.m. So maybe the 3 and 3.0 is symbolism of something else. I really don't know what to make of this one. Usually with these dreams, I can tell, right away, this is symbolism. But this one, I really don't know what to make of it. And also the fact that in this dream, I was literally prophesying it to my sister. I said, God is showing me that there's an earthquake coming. And as soon as I told her that, it happened. So normally when God gives me these symbolism dreams of an earthquake, I'll have them on repeat for, like I said, 3-4 weeks before it happens. The fact that I said it in the dream, prophesied it, and as soon as I prophesied it and told someone that God showed me and then it happened, I'm wondering if there's a possibility that it could happen right after I am sharing this with you guys now. I really don't know. So I don't want to add too much else to it. That's all the details of the dream that I can remember. And like I said, I woke up at 3 a.m. I was soaking wet, just sweating profusely. And it took me a long time to get back to sleep. So earthquake dreams are starting again. If you go back through my channel, you'll see that that's a pattern for me. I'll start having like these clusters of earthquake dreams and warnings and visions right before something major happens in the world. So here we are, not even a week. I think we're like 6 days away from January 20th, Inauguration Day, and I had shared in my last dream that after the elephant stampede, that I think was everything that happened at the Capitol. After that was when the winds changed and things just went in the opposite direction, like a turn of events that other people are getting words from God about a turn of events. The winds have changed. Things are going to go in a direction that we don't expect. So I think that in my dream that happened, and then it caused some sort of crash where the corrupt officials attempted to cover up the evidence of that crash, whatever that event was. However, they failed to do that, and it was completely exposed for the entire public to see exactly what it was that they were trying to hide. So I'm wondering if that dream and this earthquake dream are connected. So like I said, we're like 6 days out from January 20th, and I have just had this hunch this whole time that anywhere between now and January like 19th, 20th, or 21st, like that week of, I could see something happening that God's been showing us where things are just going to switch up and go in a direction that we're just going to be like, what the heck happened? It's going to be something that people don't expect. So I don't know. I'm just like on the edge of my seat, just kind of waiting to see what happens, because if this earthquake dream is just another symbolism dream that he's showing me, then something is about to shake us all up again, and it just confirms so many of the other things that many of you guys are getting, that God, like the theme, the message that he's putting out there is that, like winds have changed, turn of events, the tables are about to turn, the tides are about to turn and go in an unexpected direction. So maybe that's what this is about. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the methane gas thing and the 3.0. And that's all I have for now. So, all right, bye.